Hi, Misha here, and today we're going to talk about one of my favorite helicopters, and hopefully one of yours, the Sikorsky SH-3 Sea King, kicking boxes, Sea King, or rather specifically, its British Westland variants. Since these models are both from Corgi, we're going to kind of strongly look at the British take on it, because that's just kind of how Corgi rolls. Here we have the original version. This is the anti-submarine Navy version. And over here, we also have the Commando version, made as more of a troop transport. And just because I still have the Westland links out, because these two served alongside each other in the Falklands War, and it's an interesting comparison. The Lynx is a transport chopper. It can carry 10 troops, not small, but it is, if not dwarfed, definitely undersized compared to the Sea King. And this was originally made as a naval helicopter in America. It was a medium transport utility, intended for anti-submarine and search and rescue and all that good stuff. And Westland had been buying licenses off Sikorsky to manufacture their designs in the UK, variants of, since the 50s, and in 59 they first became interested in the SH-3. They ordered 4 prototypes that were made in America, that were tested in the 60s, and in 1966 the British Navy placed an initial order for 60. After working with the SH-3D versions made in America for the British, the first British manufactured Sea King flew in 1969 and would enter into Royal Navy service. These would have sonar for detecting submarines. They could also deploy torpedoes or depth charges. They could hold up to 4 in the anti-submarine role. And like I said, they would be used extensively for maritime search and rescue as well. It's a rather big helicopter at just under 56 feet long. The rotor diameter is nearly 63 feet. As you see, it has 5 blades. We've got a cargo door on the side. Quite a bit of the back is taken up by the electronics equipment, the sonar and so on. Crew on these could anywhere from 2 to 4 is standard. And aside from the torpedoes and depth charges, these could also be fitted with a door gun, a machine gun, if necessary. The Royal Air Force would also purchase some of the Sea Kings, and Westland would have multiple export customers. This model here, like I said, is from Corgi, 172 diecast. It's one of their, not, I want to say cheaper, but it's one of their Legend series, so it comes with rotor blades in the kind of downward drooping position. And this version does not come with the stand. But otherwise is the same. Notice the floats on the side, and then the landing gear. Just a classic maritime Sea King. Moving on to our other version of the Sea King. This is the so-called Commando. It is a dedicated troop transport version. It was originally, or at least the design itself, dates back to an Egyptian contract in the 70s, which was canceled, but obviously Egypt didn't have much use for maritime features, so they would drop the floats, just going to kind of short stub wing spars for the landing gear. It also doesn't have any of the sonar equipment in the back of the fuselage. Instead, it has a longer cabin. It can carry up to 28 troops, quite a large number. That is its specialty role. This first flew in September of 1979, and while the Egyptians never purchased it, the Royal Navy was interested, and they adopted it as the HC.4, and it became a transport of theirs, a utility copter for cargo, supplies, and personnel. And these would be flown during the Falklands War for supply missions. Again, alongside the Westland Lynx here. This is the Navy version. And I have a video on the Lynx if interested. The Sea King was capable of cruising at just under 130 miles per hour. Obviously it was home on the water, but it could operate from land as well. It was a versatile aircraft, as most utility choppers kind of are, and a very successful one. A number of foreign users had purchased these from Westland. In fact, they would manufacture just under 350 total, including prototypes and everything. Production would end in 1995, and these would start to be phased out of the Royal Air Force and Royal Navy around 2010, after serving in both Gulf Wars and Afghanistan. And the final Sea Kings would be retired out of the Royal Navy in September of 2018, so just last year. The Royal Air Force has also retired them, but they still are in limited use in other militaries around the world, including Germany. This model is from Corgi's Aviation Archive series. It's a little more deluxe. It comes with a nice stand. Actually, it's made of metal. It comes with 2 sets of rotor blades. This is the up position, where they're kind of bent up for flight. It also comes with the down position, like this one, where you can have it looking more landed on, say, a deck or in a display. And it comes in a nicer box. Other than that, it's the same chopper. Still has the same sliding door. One thing that's a little funny about the Sea King is you can tell this is one of Corgi's earlies. There's really nothing inside here. It's just kind of a void. So I've actually got its base plug in the cargo. Figured why not keep it in there so I don't lose it. It's just a hollow in there. But some of the newer models have crew figures or pallets and things inside the doors, so that's kind of neat. But again, the Sea King was one of Corgi's first helicopters, so that's alright. On the other hand, they're very solid feeling, very chunky, heavy, very metal, quite durable, honestly, models. So it's nice. They're very well done. And they haven't made any in a few years, but they're actually coming out with one in early 2020, which is an American 1960s version, so that'll be kind of neat. Should look very similar to this one here. The British version externally is quite similar to the American, but it's worth pointing out that it had uprated engines. It had the Gnome engine in it, and a little more powerful. They also were more computerized than the Americans, and they were designed to operate more autonomously, whereas American Sea Kings were designed to be more or less guided and controlled from the aircraft carrier. So, different roles. So, there were quite a few internal differences and whatnot, but externally, not a whole lot. Of course, if you get to the Commando here, it gets further away from the American design because it's more of a specialized version. Alrighty, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to comment below. If you have any questions, also feel free to post those below. And please do check out any of my other helicopter videos you might not have looked at yet. This links here is from Pete's Collectibles down in Texas. He helps me out with quite a few things, so if you want, go check him out. Pete'sCollectibles.com. And through the summer of 2019, you can use promo code Misha to save up to 15% and get a good deal on shipping. These both came from Aiken's Airplanes, which has a lot of the older out-of-production Corgis, so you might pay a little more because they're out of production, but hey, at least they have them and they're guaranteed to be brand new, whereas if you buy like on eBay, you know, who knows? You may or may not get something honestly new. Well, this is Misha, and I'll catch you very soon